Have you ever asked the question, where does the money that I give to McBIC go? If you haven't, you probably should. You're probably aware that churches have come under a lot of scrutiny and criticism for how they use their finances. There have been instances where churches haven't used financial integrity, and often churches are rightly criticized for focusing on building their own empires rather than investing in the community around them and in the world at large. Here at McBIC, we give a sizable portion of our budget toward investing in our infrastructure, things like personnel and facility and operations. Approximately 2/3 of our budget goes toward those areas. And while that seems like a high amount, and it is, it's actually less than a lot of churches. Recently, one of our staff members had a conversation with Jolene Brubaker. Jolene and her husband Bruce and their 3 kids recently went to Zambia for a year's missionary service. Prior to that, Jolene had worked in the Brethren in Christ Missions Office, and Jolene was sharing that she knows a number of people at McBIC who aren't aware of ministries outside of the church that McBIC supports. And she was encouraging us to find ways to communicate the kinds of ministries that McBIC supports here in our local community and in the world. Now, as a pastor, I think it's great that you support other ministries. I don't expect that all your money that you give comes to McBIC. My own family supports a child in Africa through Compassion International. We also support local ministries and missionaries on occasion. I think it's good that we support other ministries, but when I heard Jolene's comment, I thought we probably need to do a better job of letting people within McBIC know where our money goes to. And so I want to take some time today just to talk with you about some of the things that McBIC supports outside of the obvious expenses related to ministry in this church. Approximately 20% of our money that we get goes to community ministries and world missions. And among that are these. 10% of our giving, or about $115,000, goes to our denomination. That money supports the administration of the denomination, supports world missions, and supports church planting. Internationally, we support the missions organizations Gospel Tide and Cure International. In addition to our denominational support of missions, we support 3 missionary family units from our church: Silk in Thailand, Mike and Lori Castle in Mexico, and Keith and Sandy Probst and their family in Chile. In January, we'll also begin supporting Jolene and Bruce Brubaker and their family in Zambia. We also heavily invest in New Hope Ministry and in the Capital Area Pregnancy Center. We provide financial support to a number of missional communities connected with McBIC, including At the Cross Recovery, Hope is the Goal, Peace Promise. We invest in our local school district and several community organizations in a variety of ways. A number of our staff lead our church in investing in local and denominational churches in areas like healing prayer ministry, worship, and leadership development. And last but not least, we've recently launched the Mechanicsburg Community Church at the Mechanicsburg Middle School. MCC is led by Pastor Chad Winger and 75 people from McBIC. Our staffing and ministry support of that new church totals about $175,000 a year. I hope these snapshots have given you a picture of where the money that you give goes to at McBIC. And I want you to know that in spite of the skepticism that surrounds many churches and that people have about how churches spend their money, you've done a phenomenal job here of giving us your trust, your support, and your encouragement, and of giving strong financially. You've responded to the vision that we've put before you in meeting our budget needs and in meeting other projects that arise, and I want to thank you for that.